So thanks, Deb. So just so you know, I don't have COVID. I am going to be raspy all day. I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to cough. I've been out supporting a fire in Idaho, and I just got back today. And it's like you come out of that smoke, and your body's like, wait a minute, you were inhaling smoke for 2 weeks. We don't know what to do with the fresh air. So now it's all trying to come out. So I've already tested this morning. Yesterday, to leave the fire, you have to test for COVID. And then when I got home, I tested. So I don't have COVID. It's just raspy from sucking in smoke for 2 weeks. I told you. Anyway, my background, a little bit like Deb's. I was brought up in a military family with some, I have a brother. My dad was enlisted, and back in those days, there wasn't a lot of money, so it was tight. My dad taught us that we had to start earning our own money when we were young. I started working when I was 12, throwing papers, mowing yards, doing stuff like that, so I couldn't have traditional work. I got on a career path to be a construction superintendent when I was in San Antonio, Texas. At 19, I got an opportunity, but then the oil washed out, and I lost my job there. And I went on a baseball scholarship, so I did all the things that young, dumb people do to waste a lot of time getting somewhere. I did finish my degree by going to night school and paying for it on my own, so I had no student loan debt. I joined the military. That kind of helped offset that. But I married a lady that had 3 kids. They're kind of mine. And when we got out of the military, I was 35. I left the military, and we didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. We were robbing Peter to pay Paul. You guys all know that guy to get there. And when we got out of the military, I had finished my degree, is why I made the choice to leave. And I joined Bell Helicopter. I wrote flight simulators for them as a computer programmer. And then I went on to work for Oracle Corporation. And I became their VP of Global Training. And I left there with their help about 2 years ago. You'll learn I have a mouth sometimes. Anyway, from there, during all that time and doing stuff, I ran into families that I saw could really use some help. And mostly it was teenagers. I coached high school baseball for 20 years. And I did it mostly in high schools that couldn't get coaches in because they were in that lower SES community, and people don't want to coach there because the kids don't listen, which I've learned that is such a lie. They just want some direction. And if you get to know them and you learn their situation and their background and you'll sit and listen to them, they want guidance, they want direction. A lot of them aren't getting it at home. And so when we started doing this program, I got asked to do something because I guess I made some money through our church. But then I met Deb, and I was like, that's not really what I want to do, is tell people how I made money. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I want to give people a chance. And one of the things that we came back to, and where I work at Dollars and Good Cents, is I'm not a CPA. I don't know all that money stuff. I suck at doing my taxes, all of that stuff. But I found out that when you get back to the basics with these kids of setting some goals and dreams, they start to move forward and they'll start to open their minds. The problem that they have right now is you give them a task, and I learned this quickly, right? Here's how you catch a ground ball. They're fine with that. But if they have no idea why they're doing it or what it's going to gain for them, it goes away quickly. And the people that I deal with in the financial literacy world and the families, they're just so overwhelmed. Every day they wake up with that cloud. They forgot how to dream. They forgot how to set goals. So one of the things that we do in our program is the very first thing is to try to get their mind straight. And if we can get their mind straight, now they have a purpose to learn some of the other tasks to go forward with. And they may not retire like fire, right? I was 35. I'm kind of semi-retired, but I still got to play a little bit because of the economy, right? I'm not the one that got the house paid off at 35 years old and can retire. We still make that, but everything else is paid off. So we've been taking the steps to get there because we have our goals and dreams. But when you come out at 37 years old and you don't have 2 pennies together, where do you start? And are you really going to retire and quit at 36? So one of the things I hear out of a lot of the podcasters and stuff is fire, let's get you done at 35, right? There's people that are sitting at 35 right now that have no hope to get out at 35. They're not going to turn around in a year. But if our program can help those families turn it around to where at some point they can retire, I think that's a very big step forward. I think that's all for me.
It is. And then I guess one of the things I'd just say to just kind of wrap up our piece, because I know we've got some really great questions that I'm hoping that we're going to get to pretty quick, is as we were sharing, I mean, you obviously see the puppets in the interactive theater, but one of the core premises behind our program is we teach whole family financial literacy. So we have obviously the children's program, which is our Smart Money Commanders program, interactive theater. We also have partnered with an amazing group out of Texas, which does teens. So we have an app, they've got an LMS, we've got, their program is so dynamic, it's amazing. And so they basically take the 10 to 18-year-old group, and there's, all the cool things that they do, it's amazing. All technology, the stuff that the kids really relate to. And then we have our adult program, which is our Dollars and Good Cents. So we combine all of them, and we call it Dollars and Good Cents Family Fun Money Games. Because what our belief is that when you get the family together at the same time, learning in their best learning style, and they can come together, and we each give each group tools in order to be able to communicate. The family will grow financially, they'll be able to grow conversationally, they'll be able to identify goals, and they're going to be able to elevate their financial wellness for the rest of their lives.
And I had two things that I've seen. So one, you go to Walmart and just watch people at Walmart, right? Mom has got her little checklist out, and she knows that she can spend $45, right? And then that checklist gets all messed up. Why? Because the 4-year-old wants some candy on the counter, which now puts her $3 over. And when all you have is $3, that's a push, right? So you got that. So that's why we went with the money program. And it's funny, we have done a couple of programs for the teens or the kids. And it's funny how many adults are standing in the back, have no idea what we're even talking about. And then they start coming and asking more questions. So that's why we decided to do the whole family, because if they're all learning, then they can work as a team unit to move forward.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yes.
Didn't know how much time we had, but we got plenty, so I'm going to add a few more points. So something that we started at the beginning when we moved women's personal finance into a business where there was income coming in, was to set a goal that with our paid community and paid memberships that 10%, technically it's 9%, but about 10% of the members would be people who otherwise couldn't afford membership. So we wanted to make sure to include them in this more tight-knit community that we were forming outside of this ever-growing Facebook group. And we decided to do it for a year at a time. We weren't going to give them a month or 3 months. We wanted to give them a whole year to be part of our community. And because we think they have valuable things to offer in teaching those of us who are maybe at different points in our life and just not thinking in those terms anymore, reminding us where they're at, so helping to build empathy on the part of those of us who may be at higher incomes or different financial situations, but also so that they can freely learn within the community even if they may not be in a position to be able to pay for it. And we've never means tested, we've never had any system where people have to explain or rationalize why they feel that they need to be there, and we felt that was an important element. Part of that, I've become more, empathy is the word here, more empathetic to that approach myself with much of what I went through with my son's cancer journey. I was very resistant to accepting help in any way. I never let anybody run a GoFundMe for us or do things like that. And a lot of the things that looked like charity, I would say, I have money in my savings account still. I don't have any income coming in, but I don't want to take away from somebody. So things where I had to explain why something might be helpful for me, it was often easy for me to rationalize why that didn't fit my situation. So we just ask people, if you feel like you would benefit, but this doesn't feel like something that you can afford right now, then you're welcome to apply for our scholarships effectively. And what's been really interesting, and we've really liked to see, is that many of the paying members and other community members have also stepped in to donate funds to cover memberships for additional people. So we really like this process that encourages people to work together and collaborate across the economic spectrum, and to show that everybody has value and something to offer. So,
Very nice, Regina. We kind of do what she does. As we give scholarships. In fact, the people that come to our classes are all free, but we look for corporate sponsors, individual sponsors that pay for it through donations on our website and stuff like that. And then we do stuff at community centers. So we're getting ready to do something in Longview for 50 families, right, is what we're trying to do.
50 to 60.
And the center up there donated the building, and they've donated food, and we've got people that'll come in and do that. So we're doing the kind of the same program to where we get scholarships to pay for all the students that come in.
All right, well, thank you.